How to stop procrastinating even if you have no willpower. In this video, I'm going to show you why we procrastinate. I'm going to answer the question, is procrastination actually bad? And I'm going to give you a 7-step plan for how to stop procrastinating. Why listen to me? Well, I have a medical degree and a master's in psychological medicine, and a big part of my work with clients involves helping them to take action and to overcome procrastination. So part 1, why do we procrastinate? Before we get into it, we first need to define procrastination so that we're on the same page. Procrastination is the act of delaying or postponing tasks or decisions, often choosing to focus on less important or more enjoyable activities instead of addressing what needs to be done. So, a question for you. I'd like you to think of an activity that you're currently procrastinating on. And then as we go through this video, I want you to use the tactics and the strategies that I give you to address this particular task that you're procrastinating on. So let's answer the question, why do we procrastinate? It seems to make no sense. Logically, there's work to be done, but we just don't do it. But why? It's because our brains evolved to prioritize activities that bring us immediate rewards. And this is good when your survival depends on acting quickly to satisfy basic needs like food or safety. In the past, most of the things that were of benefit were things that required immediate action and had immediate rewards. So if you needed a quick hit of energy, you eat a ripe fruit. If you wanted a rest, you have a nap. If you're being chased by a predator, you just get out of there. Activities that provide immediate rewards cause the ventral tegmental area in the brain to release dopamine to the nucleus accumbens. This dopamine release makes us readily, easily, and willingly repeat behaviors that give us that instant reward. But fast forward to modern day, and most of the activities that really pay off require a long-term view. But meanwhile, there are so many activities like social media that deliver those immediate rewards without the beneficial payoff. And the other thing is, activities that are unpleasant, difficult, or scary elicit a fear or stress response via the amygdala, which overrides logical decision making. So procrastination comes about because our brains would rather do what gives us immediate rewards, and also it wants to avoid unpleasant tasks. In other words, our brain prefers the safety and reliability of activities that are pleasant and deliver an immediate dopamine hit, even though in the modern world that is counterproductive and not logical. Part 2, is procrastination actually bad? So let's look at an example here. His name is Jeff. Jeff's a business owner, and Jeff is procrastinating on sending out cold emails for lead generation. Let's have a look at Jeff's internal dialogue. I should do this. I should really do this. I should really, really do this. Why aren't I doing this? I'm hungry. I have to do this now. Just do it, you idiot. What's wrong with me? So if you look at that internal dialogue, it proceeds to get more and more self-denigrating as it goes along. He starts being more and more harsh with himself. But what happens when you're harsh on yourself for procrastinating? Do you make yourself more or less likely to do it? For most people, it makes you less likely to do it. And this comes down to a phenomenon called reactance. Forcing yourself to do something creates a feeling of a lack of freedom that the mind then reacts against. It's like if I told you now, stop or don't scratch your nose. You immediately feel compelled to scratch your nose. So what we don't want to do is activate that inner rebel. In other words, being harsh on yourself for procrastination is likely activating that inner rebel and making the procrastination worse. But there's something else we need to consider with procrastination. We immediately assume that procrastination is bad. You probably clicked on this video thinking, how do I cure myself of procrastination? But let's reverse this. Is procrastination actually bad? What if it's actually a valuable signal? Because procrastination doesn't appear out of the blue. There are reasons. So I'm going to read out some potential reasons for procrastination, and I want you to think about which ones apply to you. First one is misalignment. Sometimes procrastination is an inner alarm bell. Nassim Taleb, the author, says that procrastination is the soul rebelling against entrapment. So a good question to ask with any task that you're procrastinating on is, should I even be doing this? And is this consistent with my goals and values? The second reason for procrastination is overwhelm. Large tasks feel daunting and discouraging, so we need to break these down into smaller steps. The third reason is task clarity. If the next step that you have to take feels vague, then it's difficult to get started on it. So you need to make the next step crystal clear. The fourth reason is the task may feel unpleasant, difficult, or boring. You may be presenting the task to yourself in a way that is just plain unpleasant. It's only natural then that you'd want to avoid it. This is a signal that you need to reframe how you think about the task. So instead of, I have to do this task, say, I get to do this task. Or if there's something that's difficult or unenjoyable about it, you can just say, this is part of my learning. The fifth reason is fear of consequences. So sometimes you may be fearing the results of your work. For example, if there was something you had to do that involved a risk of rejection, you may avoid doing it. Or by doing it, it exposed the fact that you were not very skillful at the task. You may feel it's preferential to just live in ignorant bliss and not do the task. Or perhaps if you're successful doing the task, it brings about the next level, the next challenge, which you dread, and so you avoid it by just avoiding even doing the current task. And the sixth reason, which you can't see there behind me, is no time. If you don't feel like you have time, then you'll be more likely to put off starting the task. Instead, create time blocks to get started. Create blocks of time where you do those activities or you prioritize doing those activities. So the question for you is, which of these 6 reasons apply to you? Is it misalignment? Is it overwhelm? Is the next task not clear? Or is it unpleasant or boring? Do you fear the consequences once you've done the task or of doing the task? Or do you just have no time? Part 3. So in part 3, I'm going to give you a 7-step plan for overcoming procrastination no matter what the cause. So the first step, ask, with this task that I'm procrastinating on, is this important? Does it absolutely need to be done? Then ask, can it be delegated? And this can include also, can it be automated or can it be eliminated altogether? Thirdly, we ask, what exactly needs to be done? We need to be clear about the actual task. And then what is the smallest first, next, and easiest step to be done? So break it down to that smallest task. Fifthly, commit to doing that smallest step only. If you want to do more, you can, but you're only committed to that first small step. Sixthly, if you did it, congratulate yourself, take a break, then go back to step 4 and break it down to the next smallest task. If you weren't able to do that, break down that task even further and use accountability to help you get it done. So as an example, Jeff again. I need to come up with a new product for upselling to existing clients. So Jeff going through this process would say, is this important? Does it absolutely need to be done? Yes, it's an important task for the future of the business. Second of all, can it be delegated? Jeff says no, because he's the owner, he's the one that best knows the business, he's the best one to come up with a new product. Number 3, what exactly needs to be done? Jeff decides the first step is he just needs to come up with 5 ideas. So what's the smallest, first, easiest step to do? He breaks it down into basically just getting a notepad and writing 5 ideas at the top of the page. Just the words 5 ideas. He doesn't even have to write an idea down, just 5 ideas as the title. So fifthly, he's going to commit to doing the smallest step only. But he wasn't able to do it. So sixthly, take a break and go back to step 4. Jeff says, I don't deserve a break. I'm a terrible person. And I say, take it easy. Not doing it isn't a reflection on you. It's just the brain, remember. This is just, procrastination is a signal. It's not a failing. So if it doesn't work, as it didn't, you can break down the task further. I don't think it's possible to break this task down further. So use accountability. So Jeff would come and see me and ask me to help him to be accountable to the task. Okay, he says. So what have we learned so far? We've learned that making yourself feel bad makes procrastination worse, not better. We've learned that procrastination is a valuable signal, and we have those 6 causes of procrastination. And thirdly, we've got the 7-step plan that we can go through for any task that you're procrastinating on. So hopefully you can see that this empowering way to deal with procrastination is more than just a one-off tactic. It needs to become a habit. And in fact, in all areas of your business and life, habits are your competitive advantage, whether that's time management, procrastination, lead generation, client management, goal clarity, they're all habits. And what you want to do is create a habit stack, a deliberately chosen collection of habits that build on each other and dramatically improve your performance. So this is how you should think about it. You've got your first habit that you build and you track every day. Then you add a second habit, a third habit. And these are not unrelated habits. These habits all build on each other to dramatically improve your performance. And so just so you know, every Thursday at 10 a.m. PST Pacific Time, I hold webinars on habit building for business owners. And topics include deep work, stress management, managing overwhelm, morning routines, evening routines, goal setting, and much more. And if you'd like to apply to attend, click on the link in the description below, and I'll hopefully see you there.